Hi, my name is Mike. I call myself the bee catcher because I kind of got interested in catching swarms about 4 years ago when my son introduced me to honeybees. He also came up with the idea of catching swarms, and through some research and watching videos he came up with this particular design of a box, and I kind of made some modifications to it, and most of my videos show how this trap works, and I've been getting questions about it, asking some things about what I use for bait and so forth. So I thought I would do this and just explain what it's about. So it's basically the size of a nuke box, but it's a little bit deeper. It's about 18 inches wide and 18 inches deep, and it's made to take 5 frames. And the idea behind this is that these frames do not fill the box all the way up. There's quite a void at the bottom. When you put a deep frame in there, you see you still have a lot of space below that, and that seems to be one of the things that the bees really like. In this particular case, I have also coated the bottom with melted wax, and that seems to help. I generally use 5 frames with new foundation. If I want any kind of wax in there, I usually just put a piece of old comb in the bottom, and that way I don't have to worry about wax moths getting in it. I don't like to put honey in there because I never know if the bees are after the honey, or if they're really interested, if they're scout bees and they're really interested in finding a new home. So I have found that all I need is wax, and I do use a few drops of lemongrass oil. I put a couple drops inside, and then when the box is hung, I'll go back once in a while and put a couple drops in the front, refresh it. That's all I do, and I've had good results. Last year I got 10 swarms. I have several of these boxes out, but I got 10 swarms in these boxes. It was an unusual year in this area. We live in the Youngstown area of Ohio, so that's what our weather conditions are. So basically I was going to try to show what the construction of this box is, but I don't want to bore everybody with the details of all the cuts and everything, so I'm just going to show you how to go about it. Again, the inside dimensions are 18 1/4 by 7 1/2 by 18 inches deep, and this is the way it's made. This is just a front and the back and 2 side panels and the bottom panel, and this side panel is 5/8 of an inch, has a 5/8 of an inch drop to accommodate the frames, just like it would be in a regular Langstroth hive. The bottom, I put a vent. This is a 4-inch knockout plug that you can find at the Home Depot, and then I staple a piece of 1/8" screen in here. And the reason that I do that is because I found that in really hot weather, if you get a swarm and you leave the bees in here, one time it was so hot that they suffocated and I lost it. So now I have added this. I leave this on until I catch a swarm, because sometimes it confuses them and they try to get in the bottom. So once I have the swarm, then I'll take this out. So this is a 4" hole saw with just a 4" plug. This is really important here. These are two 1" holes side by side. The bees seem to like that shape of a hole. I don't know why, but they do. But you have to put a nail or a bar or staple, maybe a piece of 1/2" mesh on the inside to prevent any rodents or birds. Birds do try to get in there. I've seen it happen. And also, I put these little vents. These are just insulation plugs that you can find in the insulation department at the Home Depot, and I drill some 7/64 holes in there. So I'm trying to make sure that I have some ventilation. So with the plug on the bottom and these two plugs, one on each end, that gives me some pretty good ventilation. And then these two feet keep it up off the ground if you have to set it somewhere. This is about a 4" 24" long, 4" wide hanger with a 1 1/4" hole. All I really do is I just take one of these galvanized nails and put it in a tree and I hang it. And I hang it just high enough off the ground for me to reach these holes, so I can refresh the lemongrass oil, you know, especially if I see some interest in the box. I probably put these out by the 1st of April. I think the bees kind of look around sometimes, and I think they know, even though they're not swarming, I put them out early. These are the covers that I make. They're telescoping covers. These are little latches to keep the cover on, because if you're hanging it in a tree, rather than setting a brick on it, you know, they just go down and then they hold the lid on. And then this is, I cover these with aluminum. And I just put one screw in each side with the cover, because I make them so that they're riveted here, and there's just one screw here and one screw here, so I can take this off in case you need to feed them for a short period of time. This box isn't meant to house the bees for very long because of the void in the bottom. They'll just, you know, continue to make comb, crazy comb in there, and you don't really know what you're going to get. So what I do is I just drill. This is a 3" hole, and this is a 3" knockout ring that you can get at the Home Depot, and a jar, a standard canning jar with a white lid and some holes punched in it for your sugar syrup. You can feed the bees that way, or if you don't want to put this in there, you can set it like that. This works pretty well. So I just leave that in there. Put this on, and then my screws will go in, you know, to hold it on. I put these boxes together, I generally glue everything. This is a 1/2-inch sheeting grade plywood. You can use whatever you want, just as long as you get these approximate dimensions. I find that these traps with this dimension always seem to attract bees much better than old equipment. It might have something to do with the shape or whatever it is, I don't know, but they really work well for me. If I put this box out and I put old equipment on, 9 times out of 10 the swarms are going to go into these traps. And I hang on my boxes in Aurora, and I like them to look nice, so I've gone through some extra effort to make nice lids. It helps the box last. I've had several of these boxes I've used for 4 years, all summer. If you don't want to go through all that, you can make a simple migratory lid and put it on here. That way you don't have to put a spacer. You don't have to put a spacer back in here, so that the lid will clear when it's on. And this is just pure lemongrass oil, and I hope that answers some questions that I've been getting. Appreciate everybody watching my videos. Trying to get used to doing these a little bit. Haven't really had a whole lot of experience in front of a camera, so I appreciate your patience. Thanks for watching. Before I go, I just wanted to mention that I'm a member of the Columbiana Mahoning Beekeepers Club, ColumbianaMahoningBeekeepers.org. And if you're interested in details of this box, on that website under resources, you can find some details. It's a PDF file that I think you can download, and you're welcome to do that. That might give you a little bit more help in figuring out exactly what the dimensions are. So just thought I'd mention that and before I go. And thanks again.